Greetings, Glitter Gang, and happy Thursday. Welcome back to Kathryn Scraps Live. My name is Kathryn. It's Thursday, November 17th. It's 9 o'clock p.m. Life with Marcel, man. Life with Marcel. It's just a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. So I decided to try to quickly come up early and quickly print some additional photo mats, and the printer was unplugged, and now Marcel's just sitting on top of it trying to bite the papers that I'm trying to put through. So he's definitely, every day is an adventure, right, Marcel? Right, Marcel? Marcel says nothing because he's a very quiet cat. He's an extremely quiet cat, aren't you, buddy? He's a very quiet kitty. Okay. So, hi everyone. Hello, Pat, Barbara Jean, Bev, Ella, Candy, Donna, Judy, Melanie, Deb. How's everyone doing? Oh, I know the football players play in, do they play in the harshest conditions of all the sports? I feel like they really do. They're in the snow, in the rain, you know. They really do seem like they get, I mean, I guess basketball's inside, so they never, they never have to play in weather. Baseball's outside, but they don't play in the rain, do they? I know, Marcel. All right, so Marcel decided printers are boring, so he's off. They do play in the heat. That's true. That's true. The football players do too, and they have to wear more stuff. Although I guess baseball season is definitely hotter than football season. So Marcel found my elastic earlier and decided to play with that for a while. So he's like every cat with a ball of yarn in every cat video. That's Marcel. He can tell that I want him to play with the paper stars, so he doesn't play with the paper stars. Where'd your paper stars go? Huh? No, don't jump over there. Don't jump. Don't, Marcel. Use your brain. Use your brain, Marcel. You know, buddy, you got to try to use it. You got to try to use it. I know it's hard. What? I know. I don't want to use my brain either, but we have to. Just one more photo mat to print, and then we'll have plenty for the rest of the album. Okay, so what is this project? This is the Coffin album, and what we have done in the first set of the videos is I showed you how to make the templates, to make all the pages, pieces, parts, and all of that. Then we matted everything, chose our paper, bases, all of that. And now we're taking another pass through the album to add embellishments. And then, of course, I had to make it complicated because that's what I do. I make everything complicated. So I said, what if we added transparent pockets? So I showed you how to make a template to cut transparency, to make transparent pockets. And now we're going to be stuffing transparent pockets with embellishments and journaling spots and photo mats and all that. So we have, we're preserving the paper showcase intention of the album design, but adding additional functionality. So hey buddy, hey, are you spicy or are you sweet? Are you spicy or sweet? Because if you're sweet, you can come to the desk and say hi to all your friends, but if you're spicy, I want you to stay over here by the printer. All right, almost done. Anyway, so I hope you're doing well. This is November 17th. This is the last show of November 2022 because next week is Thanksgiving in the U.S. So we will be doing Thanksgiving things. Huge portion of our audience is in the U.S. I assume they'll be doing Thanksgiving things. So next week, no classes. And if you're shopping on Black Friday, I hope you get every deal that your heart desires. Candy says her cat was petting a bee earlier and was upset when her son killed it and he lost his friend. That's funny because Tiny Cat likes to play with wasps. We have a lot of mud dauber wasps, the kind of wasps that are not like harmful to humans. They build nests in our entryway, and we just ignore them because they're not harmful to humans. They're not doing anything. But Tiny Cat, when she gets one, it's her new best friend. And one time when we first moved to Florida and I didn't know what kind of wasp it was, and I just saw her playing with a wasp and I stepped on it and she was enraged. She just looked at me with just hate in her eyes. Like, how dare? How dare? How dare? Okay. All right. So, I did cut all the mats. Yeah, I've decided to opt out of Black Friday. You know, if there's something that I already had a plan to purchase and I become aware of a Black Friday deal and I can accomplish the purchasing of said item without having to leave the house, you know, then I usually will pick it up. But outside of those circumstances, I'm kind of trying to opt out of all of it. Amazon's been sending me all these emails about stuff they think that they want me to tell you to buy. So they've sent me all kinds of suggestions for things that I should make you guys aware of. And I just was like, you know, I'm just not going to do that. Amazon, it's just not that kind of channel. So, but thank you for the suggestions. They're no longer suggesting leggings for you though. So they've moved on. So apparently you guys are no longer into leggings. That was just like a pandemic thing maybe. So you've moved on to brighter pastures. But I did not drill down into the list of suggestions, so I can't tell you what they think you're into. I did just look at it to see if there were any leggings on it, and I didn't immediately see any, so. But yeah, last year for Scrappy Bowl, I did give away a pair of leggings because Amazon said that was your most purchased category. And they are actually really good leggings. I have some. So, so not to knock leggings because the Dragon Yoga leggings are awesome. But they have pockets and pockets big enough to actually hold a smartphone. So they're very nice leggings. But you know, Ella, he was released from the hospital late Tuesday, and yesterday was his first full day home, or he was released from the hospital late yesterday and today was his first full day home. I don't understand how time works anymore, but he did come back. So you could send her the lighthouse keeper's daughter, Melanie. That was about a strong, smart woman. All right, so So he is, he's doing much better. He no longer has pancreatitis, and now he's just gonna rest for the next month or so. And because he has to, his organs need to repair from their injury. So, because the pancreas injures a lot of your organs when it goes haywire. So part of it's the problem with having pancreatitis is not just that your pancreas is injured, but that all of your organs get injured. So, because the pancreas is, and I talked about this in the show this afternoon, but I want to abolish the pancreas. So I think we need someone to make a mechanical pancreas. And then we can abolish the pancreas. When we all turn 25, we can get our pancreases replaced with the new mechanical pancreas. So, I am working on book lists for 2023. The book list overarching theme for 2023 is we're going to be doing books that either have adaptations or will be adapted in 23, or like their adaptation will be coming out in 2023. So that is going to be the overarching theme for 2023. So we're going to do books that have adaptations. And I thought that could be interesting, that we could compare, was the book better? You know, like we could, that would give us the ability to do that. So we might do, thank you, Ella. We appreciate, and again, for anyone who's been keeping him and our family in your thoughts and prayers, we really greatly appreciate it. He was really just amazed and grateful to know how many people have been thinking of him and praying for him. So, we just so appreciate it. And yeah, he should, we think he'll be able to go back to work maybe after Christmas. So we'll see. But yeah, it's just a lot of recovery from it. It's just not a fun time. Do not recommend. Do not recommend. So, all right. So I only need, for tonight, I only need, I think 2 more. So I'm just going to cut this one sheet, and then we'll set the other sheets aside. So I think for tonight I only need 2 more. So. There's one that has a lot of the women of the civil rights movement. What's it called? Melanie. It's like a graphic novel, but not quite. More like an illustrated book. Let me see. If just a quick Google is not really doing it for me, so maybe it'll come to me. Maybe it'll come to me. I know Harriet Tubman is also in it, and Rosa Parks. I know the 2 of them are in it. Maybe I'll just search, or maybe it's just about Harriet Tubman. Let me search Harriet Tubman. Harriet Tubman illustrated book. Maybe it's not all. Yes, She Came to Slay. That's what it's called. By Erica Armstrong Dunbar. The Life and Times of Harriet Tubman. I did see that they are doing an English language adaptation of A Man Called Ove, and it's the title is A Man Called Otto, and Tom Hanks is playing Otto. In fiction, there's Little Women, but unfortunately, we have already read Little Women. Oh, You're talking about for your nieces. I thought you were talking about for adaptations. I was like, we already read it. So, but we could read like Anne of Green Gables, something like that. Because I'm not necessarily, it doesn't have to be an adaptation that's recent. So we may do stuff that has older adaptations. And there's always Jane Austen. Pretty much all of her stuff's been adapted. So we can kind of cover a lot of ground in terms of publication date, I think. But yes, they are adapting or have adapted a lot of the stuff that we have read. A Great Circle's getting an adaptation. I don't know if I'm going to go see it, but it'll depend on if it's... I don't know. It's probably going to just depend on what people say about it, to be honest. Because that book was, let's just say sprawling and not in a good way, I think, for me. All right. All right, there we go. So, yeah, so we're going to do adaptations. That's going to be our overarching theme. So I hope to talk about it next month. I'm sorry that book club kind of like fell apart the last quarter of 2022. But things were very chaotic in my life. More chaotic than I would like. Unfortunately. Let's just mention that this afternoon. It's like the first half of the year was great. I was doing all my cultural events. I was hitting all my milestones. And then it was like COVID, cat died, brother sick, 2 hurricanes. Only one of them was bad, but 2 hurricanes. You know, just a lot. It was just a lot. It was more than I needed, to be perfectly honest. All right. So, okay. So with this one, we said earlier this afternoon, because they're kind of potion themed and animal themed, that's what we're going to be looking for in our things that we pull out to stick in them. Embellishments is the word I'm looking for. Things that we pull out to stick in them is not descriptive enough. All right, so we're looking for potions, spell components, things of that order. So we've got a wing of a bat. There's that. And then these little scraps that I can use to put on the back of things, I'm just going to set them aside in a different pile. These are okay, but I'm not sure about the black and white when I have other options. So, like, for example, I'd much rather use... this is a cologne, but we're probably gonna use it anyway. Yeah, Goodreads actually has quite a few community lists with really helpful information if you're looking for themes. I use them a lot when we were doing things like books with cats on the covers and things like that. So, all right. Okay, so these are spells, but they're quite large, so I'm not sure that I want to use them in this capacity. Just because of how big they are. I think they're just a little oversized for what we're trying to do here. But I do want to find where their kind of covers are. Here we go. I want to keep some of the more bookish things together. All right. So from here, I do those we can keep for consideration. None of these. These are all outdoors, and these are very clearly indoors pictures, so I'm going to go ahead and pass on those. And same with these. Ooh, print the spells smaller. Good idea. Good idea. Let me just go do that really quickly. I still have Photoshop up from earlier, so. Yeah, because like, if they were around 5 by 7, that would be just about the right size. This is Halloween Night by Paper Phenomenon, and I have been using both the 8.5 by 11 and the 12 by 12. And the spells, I believe, are in the 12 by 12. Just looking at the 8.5 by 11 to check, and yes, they're in the 12 by 12. Okay. So let me just, oops. Huh. You guys just saw yourselves for a second there because the source for my PC desktop got changed from the monitor. It should be to, so I hate to do this to you, but you are going to have to like, just don't look at the zoom. Don't look in the endless zoom, and let me fix this. Not display 4, display 1. There we go. Okie dokie. I think we did it. That looks better. All right. Whee! Always fun, always fun. Okay. So I'm going to open a 13 by 19, and I made a custom document size that's exactly what I want in a piece. Okay, so it looks like they are 5 by 7 already. So what I'm guessing I'm going to need / want to do is make them more like 4 by 6. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get, I don't know why are you like this? Stop it. All right, so I'm just gonna resize it so that it's 6 inches tall, and that'll, oh, they're 8 inches. Well, what if I make you 7 then? Then they'd be, it looks like they'll be about 4.5 by 7, and that's fine. All right, so we'll go ahead and drop them onto the sheet. Of course, do not save changes. It's interesting because they're not the same size. Exactly. This is so annoying when this happens. Okay. It's all right if the spell pages are not all the same size. Exactly. I wonder if I rotate them, if I can get them 2 across, because they are now 7. I should be able to, right? Because this is 13. No. 7 plus 7 is 14. So, no. So, I can math. I can math. All right. Okay, so this one, what I might do is a quick money spell. That's what everyone needs right now. Is there an anti-inflation spell? A world peace spell? Okay. All right, I think that's as good as I'm going to get. So it's probably fine. We don't need that many. All right, let's go ahead and close the rest of these. Oh, those aren't even spells. So we're only missing 1 spell. Now I'm wondering if the spell we're missing would be better than any of these other ones. But I'm not worried about it. Okay, we'll just print this and go. I don't think I'm going to turn it into an actual book. Not exactly, but I do have kind of in my mind that I want to use that spell book cover maybe somehow in the front of it, but we'll see. There are some also book looking like things that look like you know, like the stickers that go in the front of the books to say whose library it came from. I don't know what those are called. There's a word for those. There are some images in the collection that kind of look like those things to me. So, book plates is what they are. Yes, book plates, absolutely. Judy, that would be so fun. Do you know what you can do, though? Is you can go on Etsy and they sell... if you have the big printer, the 13 by 19 printer, you can buy like stuff to make prints, digital files like suitable for making prints on Etsy. And Amazon sells a frame. It's like 17 by 20. I'll add it to my list right now. It's whatever the size is, it holds a 13 by 19 print. So you can kind of DIY it a little bit if you want to. So let me go, I'll just add those frames now so that they'll be in my idea list because I have them bookmarked, because this is totally a plan that I have. Is I want to, you can also have people just print the prints for you. You don't have to print them yourself. And a lot of people print 13 by 19 prints on Etsy because of course that's like a really decent size. But they'll also do other sizes as well. And then that way you can get prints of exactly what you're, like exactly what you want, you know. Okay, so I need to go find the list that I put it in. Oh, here they are. Okay, yeah, so Craig Frames, contemporary 17 by 22 inch Brazilian walnut frames, matted to display a 13 by 19 inch photo, set of 4 for $106. So that's the frame and the mat, 4 of them for $106. So what I'm going to do is I'll add these to the Kathryn Scraps ideas list, and they come in a whole bunch of colors. You don't have to get Brazilian walnut. If you do want to like do your own prints, I guess you don't even have to buy other people's prints from Etsy. You can just you know, you can make your own if you have the paper and stuff, but I'm, you know, like the lowest effort is just to get other people's designs that you like, right? So I like low effort. So that's my jam. All right, now I am going to, here's the prints. I'm going to send this back through and I'm going to print journaling paper on the back of them. What? Oh my gosh. I'm going to choose pretty simple journaling paper so that it's not, you know, I'm not trying to make my, I'm probably going to use journaling basics. And the reason why is because I don't, whatever I'm going to print is going to print a little subpar because it's on the uncoated side of the paper. So I don't want anything too saturated, too colorful, you know, too much in just in general. So I think so. I'm just gonna go to, I think I'm gonna and let me bring it back over to show you. Okay, so we want to print on the back of this, right? And when there's two ways I can do this. I can either flip it end over end from top to bottom, in which case these would be upside down, and so whatever I printed on the back would be upside down. Or I can flip it side to side, in which case everything's right side up, but it's mirrored. And so I'm going to do it mirrored because that's going to give me the better result. And the way that I know where to put the stuff on the back is all I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate this and I'm going to flip it on the horizontal. Okay, so now I know exactly what I have to cover. Okay, so this one's pretty basic. It's just a grid. No, I don't want to do Punchinella. This is another grid. That's the dot. I don't want to do the dot. I don't want to do the ledger, I don't think. I mean, a ledger is fine. I don't want to do the notebook paper. I don't want to do this. Okay, so it's, do I want to do the ledger? Do I want to do the, or just grid? I'm going to do the ledger. Okay, so let me show you. I'm going to drag the ledger over, right? And I'm going to make sure that the ledger is my top layer. And I'm going to duplicate it. Okay. All right. And then I'm going to move it up to the top. And then I'm going to put that one that's on the top under the second one. And then what this should do is print the top of the ledger twice, once on the first set and once on the second set. And then, oh, one of them's sideways, right? So I have to print a third, I have to duplicate the ledger again. Okay, JK. I'm gonna rotate this ledger, this one. This one I'm gonna put like so. Okay. And then we're going to duplicate this one. Okay. And we're going to put it I just need to be able to see all of the different layers. All right, so now that they're all on top of each other, they should print exactly right. Okay. I just want to make sure, yeah, that's correct. Oops. Okay, just stop being like that. Just move this out of the way for a second. I have to rearrange them all again. I forget the order I have to do them in. There we go. All right, so when I print this, they should all have ledger on the back of them. Now, is it going to be the most amazing ledger of all time? No. But is it going to be discernible as a ledger and save a little bit of time with all the cutting out twice? Yeah, it should. Okay. All right, back to the desk. Okay. Alrighty, so, all right, that's going. So let's take this book plate and you incorporate it. Set that aside. I don't think any of those. All right, so I think for these, I like these labels because they're all a little different. They look more ephemeral. And one of them has a dragon on it. So okay. All right, so there's a snake, which we do have a snake on the page. So let's go ahead and do the snake. Hi, buddy. Hi, Sleepy. Are you sleepy? Yeah. You don't have any sleep? Oh, my God! Oh! Are you okay? Oh. Well, that... I'm sorry, buddy. That was my bad. You're okay. You're okay. I know. I know. You don't like falling down. He stepped on the edge of a stack of papers that were hanging off the desk, so he essentially stepped into thin air. And just, I think because he fell such a short way, he couldn't right himself. So I think he just is a little startled. But I don't think he's hurt. So, but he did totally tumble. He did totally tumble. We also have a skull. Poor little guy. No, that was no fun. All right. He'll get even with me later. He will. It's true. It's true. And then let's pick some weird ones like ghost breath. And brain juice. And then I just want 2 more. We'll put 3 in each. So, we could do octopus vitamins. Nah, let's do jack-o'-lantern seeds and full moon extract, because that sounds like that was hard to get. That's probably expensive. Okay. Maybe that's why it gets so cold around ghosts. They chew a lot of mentholated things for their breath. All right, let's go ahead. Go ahead and keep some of the Undertaker stuff. Maybe it'll get used this time. And then from here, the weirdest things. Let's do the ad for the potion bottle, because we do have the potion bottle. We're going to take this snake. And he's hiding in his little tunnel right now. So I think he's just feeling a little funny. Let's go ahead and grab this other little book advert here. I bet on Etsy you could probably buy like a whole picture wall with the frames and everything. Now that would be expensive. I'm sure you pay a lot for it. Black cat hairs for tiny cat representation. She's actually missing a patch of fur right now. Let's go with these 2 because they're sticking up at the top. Or no, we'll just do just the dragon actually. Okay. All right, let's take a look. So we're going to do the dragon in one, and then in the other, the black cat hairs. Okay. And then, what else we got? Set that to the side. Go ahead and set that to the side. I am trimming these down as I go to make them a little easier to handle because they are so large. So, for these, I still think no on these. All right, what have we got here? Scorpion venom and poison, both acceptable. And again, you don't have to stuff these with this much stuff. I mean, you can put more photos in yours, etc. This is just to give it a really full grimoire sort of look. Like, we've been collecting all these things for years and years. I just saw something on witchcraft, but I don't know that the thing I was watching wasn't, oh, it was about cats. It was a documentary about cats. And they were talking about how during the Inquisition in Germany, so the German Inquisition was an anti-witchcraft thing, and I think it's the Inquisition that killed the most people, actually. And they were talking about how many cats got killed during that, because in the major German book about anti-witchcraft, they identify black cats as being like a witch thing. And the thought behind that is that women who worked with herbs and kept a lot of like grain in their house, maybe they were brewers as well, they always would have cats for pest control reasons, and that's why cats are so associated with witches. I thought that was really interesting. I know, poor people too. Poor everybody during those times. Was it The Hammer of Witches, I think is what it's called, the book itself. All right, witches brew. And then let's do hemlock. But I also learned from this cat documentary that brewers' cats were a major Scottish tradition, that like brewers always had cats for pest control reasons. And then there are some distilleries in Scotland that are bringing the tradition back and having cats. So that seemed really like a cute thing. And they were talking about this one distillery that's also has a bar, and the one cat is extremely social and just hangs out in the bar. He's the bar cat. And then the other cat is the one that hangs out in the granary and actually does the work. So they have one cat that's not doing any work at all, and one cat doing all the work. And I was like, with here, that would be the case. Kitty would be out in the granary, and Tiny Cat would be on the bar just laying there like, pet me, mortals. Marcel would probably be splitting his time. You know, he'd be back and forth between the granary and the barn. Today he brought me a piece of plastic from the outside and set it at my feet, very proud of himself. So that was funny. And then he brought me he brought me a piece of trash, another piece of trash. So when he can't find a lizard, I guess he's just, any piece of trash that he finds out on the lanai, he'll clean it up for us. He's so funny. How you doing, kid? You all right? Yeah, what a life, right, Bev? Just hang out at the bar all day getting cuddles. All right, let's check on our ledger. All right, so I don't know, it's hard to, let me see if I can shine a flashlight through it so you can see. No. You can see how I got the seam exactly right. See? Yeah, he doesn't like his space being all trashy. All right, so go ahead and just take a look at that. All right, but then when I flip it over at the top again, we did it. And then there's a little piece of ledger we can use on the back of other things. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these out, and then I'm going to rip up the edges with one of my razors to make them look a little raggedy. But, I mean, that's pretty good. Pretty good. So yeah, I asked my brother if he'd even thought about Thanksgiving, because, you know, I felt like it crept up on me. So I was imagining, he said, hey, that's next week. How crazy. So it crept up on all of us, but he's going to go spend time with my parents. So, which is what I thought would probably happen. Oh, how nice is that? Double-sided. And he asked for my mushroom and leek potato gratin recipe. So I sent it. It's with Gruyere. It's delish. Do it instead of mashed potatoes. It's very rich though. All right. Okay, so now I'm going to just rough them up. But so they should be having fun. He said they're making all the usual favorites. So, no, he's not supposed to have a lot of fat, and he's supposed to limit his protein. There's all this stuff, but, you know, just take a little bit of everything. He should be okay. There's that, American spy from World War II who, she only had one leg. She lost her leg. And so she would, her part of her disguise was she would stand by a sheep. She would act as a shepherdess. And so she always had a sheep She would stand in a flock of sheep, so that's how she would disguise her one leg. And she had a bunch of dental work done to have her teeth look like more like she was a shepherdess from the Alps or whatever, and less like the rich American woman that she was, and like all this stuff. And she was just a major spy during World War II. Another group that's really interesting is the Night Witches. They were Russian women who they flew old planes, and they would confound the Luftwaffe because their planes were so slow that if the Luftwaffe tried to capture them, they would stall. If they tried to chase them, their planes would stall. And so they were able to do a ton of damage just because their technology was like so old that they couldn't be caught. And they would just carry bombs with them and drop them out the side of the planes onto things. And they were extremely effective. There's all kinds of really interesting stories from the war about things women were up to that should probably all get more attention. But yeah, I just love that they couldn't catch them because their planes were too slow. Yeah. So, and then I also love the image of these Russian women just sitting with bombs in their laps and just throwing them over the side, and the Luftwaffe not being able to do anything about it. We're not having company at Thanksgiving. The four of us are going to brunch at the Rusty Pelican. I just saw, it came up on my newsfeed that 2 Tampa Bay restaurants had made the top 10 list for best Thanksgiving buffets in Florida. And one of them was the Rusty Pelican. And they still had spots open. So we're going to Thanksgiving brunch at the Rusty Pelican. And it's not a buffet anymore, I don't think, because of, you know, the sitch. But I think it'll be nice. So we're not cooking, and then we're either going to go to a movie afterwards or we're going to decorate for Christmas. But my sister is leaning towards movies, so we may just do a movie. But we were all too exhausted to really want to do the big cook or whatever. Christmas will probably be hosting, would be my guess, the whole family. And possibly some of Damien's family as well. So I'm thinking about doing something, instead of like a sit-down dinner that has to be served at a certain time, I'm thinking about what if I like made platters of things that could kind of just sit out for like a window of time, and people could kind of come and go and eat and snack and chat and listen to music, Christmas music and that sort of thing. And that maybe that's the way to go. Because that seems like, otherwise it's me cooking dinner for like 12, 15 people. And that's like not something I want to do. Just got to throw that out there. So I don't feel like it. So, and if we do it as like a drop-in, drop-out buffet, you know, anyone who wants to come can come. We can just tell friends that when it'll be open, and you know, come have a glass of wine, eat some Christmas snacks that you didn't have to cook. I think that'd be fun. Plus, appetizers are the best part of a dinner party anyway, right? So that's what I think. And I have the America's Test Kitchen, like make ahead meal prep thing. I don't know. They have anyway, there's a whole section in it on stuff that you can do for dinner parties. And one of them is like a kind of an appetizer buffet thing. So, and like how you can make it days ahead of time and that sort of thing. And then we can just keep bringing out new trays of things as they're needed. So that's kind of where I'm thinking. Okay, now with these, all right, I'm just gonna, just to give them more texture, I'm gonna wrinkle them and then smooth them out. All right. So this one, I think I'll put in the first pocket. So by first pocket, I mean this pocket. Okay. Okay, so that one can go in the front. Just trying to figure out. There we go. So, and then we'll pick one for each of these, and then we'll have one for each of these. So for these, let's do, we have progress and ambition, and we have money, and those two kind of go together. And then we have travel and love. So let's do safe travels and love for these two, and then we'll set these two aside. All right. And this gives us a very big journaling spot for each of these pages. And see where we crumpled it? Sometimes the ink will pick up on those creases, and it just looks interesting. Okay. Well, and I saw where you can get phyllo cups. So you could put like some spinach dip, or spinach artichoke in there and things like that. And then I have something I make for every dinner party called bacon candy. Everybody loves it. But mini quiches are a good idea. My sister and I made caramelized onion with pimento cheese dip. We caramelized the onion, we added a little balsamic glaze, mixed it with some pimento cheese dip, and put it in mini quiches and baked it off for a party once, and that was really good. Like, just the dips that they sell in stores. You can do all kinds of interesting things with those by stuffing them in things and baking it. I use the spinach artichoke dip, the big one from Costco. Take that and throw it in the blender with 18 eggs, and that's like basically egg cups, egg bites. Like if you like those Starbucks egg bites, that's a way you can make your own. Okay, so let's see. These I'm going to set aside, and no, I'll use these and I'll set these aside. It's too many things we don't want too many things all the same size. I'll use these. And then I'm going to set this aside, and I will use the skull in the bottle. And then with these, I think I'll do one of the taller ones and just one of the shorter ones. So we'll do the ghost breath and the full moon extract. I don't think we'll do the dragon powder and the vampire blood. And the rest, well, we'll do hemlock root and witch's brew. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now we got to start backing everything. And I have more journaling paper I can use, of course. So okay. Just trying to get them as kind of like rectangular as possible. So the tape is right on the edges. Anyway, so that's my thoughts for Christmas. I thought it'd be fun, different, and most importantly, easy for me. Let's see. So Melanie does loaded baked potato dip. Yeah, see, loaded baked potato dip sounds great. So I'm all about an appetizer spread. Like if you told me it's a dinner party, but we're only doing apps, I would be like, my favorite dinner party ever. I mean, who and everyone loves apps. And we can get a sandwich platter from somewhere so that there's, if you know, more substantial food. You know, if people are really worried about not having enough appetizers, you know, but I don't think they should be worried about that because it's not like we're gonna run out and people are gonna go hungry. Who's ever gone hungry when there's a platter of spanakopita is what I'm asking, you know? No one. And then bacon candy. So what we do is we make a brown sugar syrup, a brown sugar simple syrup. You crisp up your bacon and you toss your bacon bits in that brown sugar simple syrup. Salt, not salt because bacon is salty. A little bit of pepper, cracked pepper. Put that on top of brie, on top of baguettes, crackers, and just hit it in the oven until the bacon starts to melt down into the cheese and hits that sugar. And people cannot stop eating that because it's sweet, it's salty, it's cheesy, it's got bacon, it's got baguette. People, I actually have to be careful not to have too much available because we have had people, like I literally have had someone have a gallbladder attack from eating too many bacon candies. So we do make sure that we have just enough bacon candies for everyone to have like two. So but that is always a huge hit. Anything with spinach, anything with cheese, anything with bacon. We saw where you could take a melon baller to a honeydew and then put a little dollop of cream cheese and then put half a strawberry with a toothpicks, and it's a little Grinch. I write a recipe booklet. I could do that. It would all just be, at the bottom of each one, it'd be like, I stole this part of it from this and this part of it from this. And just me giving credit to everyone I've cobbled recipes together from over the years. And then, yeah, they're little Grinches. Pat, I don't know how you did that. So Pat says Gretchen's sister was born on December 19th in 1976. She came home from the hospital on the 22nd and cooked Christmas dinner for 12 people that year. I don't. She said I had a lot more energy back then. You had more energy then than I have now, for sure. A glitter gang party. Yeah, gosh, that's so funny because we were supposed to go on a cruise in 2020, but you know, other things happened that year. What could they have been? We made a whole cruise album for it and everything. That's why we made a cruise album that year. So anyway, all right, well. Well, you definitely should all you need to do is find a recipe for candied bacon, and there's a lot of them, and then just make that, and then you put that on top of a baguette slice with a piece of brie on top of it, and you throw it in the oven so that it can get all melty and gooey, and then you've made bacon candy. That's all it is. You just need a baguette, a wheel of brie, some bacon, and get like the thicker cut bacon is better for this. And some, I mean, really it's just brown sugar water and a couple spices. Very easy. It's very, very easy, but everyone loves it because everyone loves bacon, except for, I don't know, people who can't eat bacon. Probably vegans. Here's the vegans again. They can't eat the cheese either, so this is not vegan friendly. Again, if you have a vegan coming, you know, consult them about what they can eat. So. Oof, high school math. So anyway, so that's what I want to do for Christmas. So maybe what I'll do is I'll just tell people that that's what it is. And if they don't like it, they should stay home and cook their own dinner. There you go. There you go. Ella found candied bacon with brie on Pinterest. So she's halfway there. A lot of them have it where you put the candied bacon on top of the brie and then you bake the brie and then you dip it out with the baguette. But I just like it to be more of a finger food where you can just grab one that's already made. So that's why I do the baguette slice. They can go to Burger King and have it their way. Exactly. That's exactly right. Exactly. I bet on like bonappetit.com, places like that, I bet a bunch of them have how to do a dinner party that's all appetizers with like 50 recipes, you know, so it's probably already out there, pre-planned, don't have to think, can just go, just do it. Gretchen, that's why I think you kind of got to have like a sandwich platter for anyone who really, you know, because, you know, if someone didn't get lunch and they show up and there's only finger foods, sometimes it really isn't enough. So I do like to always kind of have like a sandwich platter. So, you know, that people can fill up if they're hungry. All right, so but yeah, I just want to do something different. I was watching something online and it was about frolic culture. And the woman said, you know, if you think you can't do something, ask yourself, who told you that and who does it serve? And, you know, like, if you're thinking about, well, I can't do that because, you know, it's like, well, why can't you? You know, and sometimes there's really good reasons why you can't do things, right? Like, can't put your hand on a hot stove. Who taught you that? Your parents. Who does it serve? You, because your hand's not burned. There's stuff like that that's fine, you know, but then there's other stuff where it's like, oh, well, we can't do XYZ for Christmas. And it's like, well, why can't we though? Taught on the 16th and ran the Christmas dance. Pat. You could maybe have given yourself an extra day or two. It probably would have been all right. Melanie, sounds like you need to do a potluck where everyone brings a thing they can eat. All right, got that. Okay, for vampire blood, I'm gonna go over here. So yeah. I think that's it. I think that's it. We're going to have apps for Christmas. Cream cheese with pepper jelly is great. Cream cheese, I also really like it with like a spicier salsa because the dairy does kind of cut the heat, you know, so you can put a more intense salsa on it as well. All right, and these will both just fit on here. But now I'm like, just my mind is imagining things we could do. Like there could be a dipping station with all different kinds of things that you can dip into all different kinds of things. So there can be vegetables, crackers, all different kinds of interesting dips, like pepper jelly on cream cheese. Yeah, if you haven't had that, that's great. Or salsa with cream cheese, like whatever you're into, you know. You just have to go a little spicier than you prefer. So like if you're a mild type of person, you want to go medium. Just because the cream cheese cuts the heat so much of what you're eating. You want to just zhuzh it, turn up the heat just a little bit. In my next life, I can have a catering business of just appetizers. That's right. Someone needs to make a catering business of just appetizers. Well, I mean, I guess you can probably get any caterer to make you just appetizers, and that's probably why it's not a thing. But, and it could be called Snack Attack. But I guess Damien's parents are part of an appetizer club where it's like a dinner party club, same idea, except when they get together, everyone just brings an appetizer and then they all just sit around chatting and drinking wine and eating appetizers all night. And I was like, that's the best club ever. Why am I not in an appetizer club? So when we had them over, and of course I served a platter of bacon candy, you know, at the beginning, because I always like to have an appetizer go out right away, and then people stay out of the kitchen and they stay out where the appetizer is and they chat with each other. So I always put out an appetizer right away. And I did the bacon candy, and she was like, I have to have this to take to the next appetizer club meeting. And I was like, what am I missing out on? Appetizer clubs? What? Why have I never been invited to an appetizer club? All right. So we've got all these ready to go. So we just have this little stack still. Oh, how did you get over there? It's not where you belong. Okay. So I just need to get some more paper. I'm going to pull this sheet up for the skull. Maybe. Nah, let's just stick with journaling. That's probably more functional. I lost all my journaling sheets. I set them in their own space so I wouldn't lose them. And now, guess what? I lost them. No, seriously though, where did I put them? Are they in this stack? Oh, look, they're in this stack. Okay. So yeah, that's what I want to do. That's what I want to do for Christmas. So Thanksgiving, someone else is cooking, not my problem. And then for Christmas, let's have an appetizer party. Because like I said, I really don't want to do a big sit-down dinner for 12 people. I'm just not... I mean, I might get more in the mood for something like that, but I doubt it. I doubt it. I just need this year to end. So, I've had enough. I've had enough. I've had enough. So, anyway. And if people really throw a snit, then you know what they're getting? They're getting a honey baked ham. That's what they're getting. So there's a calculation for heavy hors d'oeuvre. Like if you're just doing hors d'oeuvre, I think you need a half dozen pieces per person, something like that, if you're not actually having a meal. And it's like 3 pieces per person if you are serving a meal. So I would probably go, you can look it up online, but there are kind of these catering calculations for pretty much anything you can think of. Where like how many chicken wings you need for your Super Bowl party. You can always look all that stuff up. And so I would just, so I probably would need, my guess is I'd need somewhere around 72 pieces. So if I had a dip station with some bags of chips and some crackers, plus a sandwich platter, I could probably get away with making a dozen of like 4 different things maybe. And I could probably do it that way. And then if I didn't want to worry, I could just double the recipes up and make 2 dozen of whatever. Yeah, I would serve like, I would probably not serve more than 4 different appetizers. I could serve more and have more variety if some of them were frozen. Like if I got some and made some. So that might be something I would do for stuff that's like anything with like phyllo, can be a little bit much to work with, that kind of thing. So like or mini quiches even. You can probably get some decent mini quiches frozen from like Costco or something like that. And I would also possibly do a big thing of like crock pot meatballs. You know, so there's all kinds of stuff you can do to make. And then at that point, you're just making sauce, really. You got to make a nice gravy for your meatballs to be dipped into. And you can do a couple different ones, because you could do your meatballs just seasoned, and then you could have like a sweeter sauce with something more like a fruity barbecue type sauce. Something pineapple-y, and then you could have like a more gravy-like sauce, like a Swedish type sauce, like IKEA-ish. There's all kinds of stuff. That you can do. Plus, you can get your sister to help you, you know, and have her do stuff. And then last year, my Costco sold Iberico ham on the leg with the holder thingy and everything. And they also sold Serrano same way. And I joked that I was going to get, I sent a picture of it to my family on the family group chat, and I joked that I was going to get it, and that would be our Christmas ham this year. So that could be funny. That's a expensive joke, though. That's an expensive joke. But that could be its own station. If you really want to impress people, I guess that's the way you can do it. I would probably just get the Serrano. But that's a $500 ham. Something like that. It's like one of these, has to be a special pig that lived in this special part of Spain that only ate this kind of acorn. Then it had to get cured for 60 months in this special kind of cave. And, you know, it had to get inspected and approved by this body that stamped it with this special stamp so it can be called Iberico, etc., etc., etc. And I had some recently, and I love Serrano, and I didn't think the Iberico was twice as good. So I probably would not do this. That's why it was a joke. You're not serving a $500 ham to anyone. I know. Well, the way they serve it, let me see if I can get a picture. They serve it in like paper thin slices. Okay. So here we go. This is a Serrano, but Serrano and Iberico are kind of presented the same way. So here's the ham, and it has a leather jacket that it wears when it's not being served. And then it comes on this, like, it needs this cradle thing, and it lives in this cradle thing. And then you take this knife and you cut these paper thin slices off of it. It's served in these paper thin slices because of how expensive it is. This is a bone-in Serrano. Bone-in Serrano's $400. Oops, I almost tried to check out with it. I don't need to do that. I don't need to do that. Anyway, but my Costco had the Iberico, which is the nicer one, for like $500 last year, and then the Serrano for around $250. And like I said, I love Serrano. When we lived in Miami, there was a sandwich shop that was walking distance from our house that served a Serrano and Manchego sandwich that and it was their take on ham and cheese. And I loved it. I loved it so much. I could have eaten so many of those sandwiches. And then, like I said, I was at Jose Andres Jaleo in Orlando. We met my brother there for lunch when he was in Orlando. We had Iberico. And it just wasn't, you know, I just didn't think it was twice as good. Okay, so this one I'm not going to put, this one I think I'll put on the back of the wallpaper, these two. So anyway, but it's not like a ham you eat like for dinner. It's a ham. It's like the closest thing to it is prosciutto probably. So if you have not ever had Serrano or Iberico, I would say prosciutto is probably the most similar thing that you've probably had. Although it's not quite the same. Because I don't think prosciutto has to be, well, first of all, I don't think that they have to, it's not as tightly controlled. I think the Spanish are very, like, all the designations like the French have for cheese, official designations the French have for cheese, I think the Spanish kind of have those for ham. They're very serious about ham, I think. So. But the problem with these hams is they take so long to eat. You know, my main concern is spoilage. Because it's not a ham that you carve like huge slices off of and eat like, you know, like your honey baked ham or whatever. So that's why when I sent it to the family, it was a joke. But then they all tried to get me to buy it. Probably because they want me to buy a $500 ham so they can all eat slices off of it and then leave and go home. And then I'm stuck with, you know, $400 worth of ham. So I'm on to them. I can just imagine waking up one morning and Kitty and Tiny and Marcel have figured out how to claw through the leather shield around the ham and gotten into the ham and are just eating $500 ham. That is an image clearly in my mind. 100% would happen because they're little monsters. All right, almost done. This will be a long one, but a long episode, but it's fine. It's fine. You know what? We talked about Christmas ham. So yeah, so book club next year is going to be, oh, and for book club December, what we're going to do is we're going to cut the Fanny Flagg book and we'll move the library book from this month into December, and we'll talk about the library book in December, and we'll talk about the Gogol, Chekhov, the short story as well. And you don't have to spend money on that short story. I'm sure it's somewhere online for free. Gogol. The Night Before Christmas by a Russian. I think Nikolai Gogol, but I'm not sure. Oh, wait. You know how we can check that? Hold on. It is Nikolai Gogol. So what we're going to do is, The library book we're going to move to December 15th. And then Cutting a Redbird Christmas, and then we'll still talk about The Night Before Christmas on December 22nd. And then somewhere, so that's what we're going to do. And then The Night Watchman, I did read it, but I read it, like I listened to it in the car on the way to and from Virginia, went to visit my brother. So like, you know, my comprehension and retention of that is better than I would have expected under the circumstances, but not amazing. And I did have to return it. But I could look up a book club discussion to that. We could do a quick one. I will say I was surprised by the balance between The Night Watchman and what everybody else was doing. And I thought it would be more about The Night Watchman than it was. But I did like how everything kind of came together at the end. She did pull all the threads together. I did like the woman who was the anthropologist, or was she an anthropologist? She was the college lady. I liked her and her skirts. She was a very well characterized person. I liked how she liked to use the Ditto machine to relax. Oh wow, Ella, congrats. That's going to be a fun trip. Ella's going to Charleston, see the whole family, including the 20-month-old great nephew. I have a friend who's an aunt to people younger than she is. Or excuse me, older than she is. It would be normal to be an aunt to people younger than you. She's an aunt to people older than she is. And I always wonder how many greats she's going to end up with because of that, you know? Like, she has nieces and nephews her age and young, and, you know, not too much younger than her. So she's not a great aunt yet, but I'm sure soon. Your local library has a read along every year, and this year's book was the library book. Awesome. So you're ahead already. All right, so these are going to be extra juicy, stuffed like everyone's going to be after leaving my appetizer party. All right. But yeah, it's happening. Christmas appetizer is happening. We'll do a nacho bar the night before, because we always have nachos on Christmas Eve. And then we'll do the appetizer party on Christmas Day. All right, so now put the Witch's Dream book in there and the Lucky Potion in there, which means the big potion bottle is going to go over here. with the dragon. Put the cat over here, and then we'll put the dragon powder in there. Vampire blood over here. Okay, we'll put the ghost breath in here, because if you have a cat, they can see ghosts. Something you learn as a cat owner. Okay, let's see. Scorpion. We'll put the scorpion here, the poison there, the hemlock there, the witch's brew there, and the skull there. Oh, okay. So now, again, this is how they, now it's got a nice big journaling spot. Got our cute little goodie bags in each of these plastic pockets. So it's all these places to put little notes. You could put photos on the backs of some of these. They're big enough. And then you can still see your paper. Okay, and then lastly, the love spell. Poison. And again, just all kinds of room for journaling, but you don't have to journal. You can put whatever you want. All right, so beautiful. Beautifully stuffed, tons of room for photos. We've added 4 photos to each of these, so now each coffin has 7 photos. So that's 7, 14, 21, 28, 34, no, 35, 42. 42 photos in the end. So almost 50 photos in our coffin. So we've got the first half done. So we just have 3 more coffin pockets to do, and then the cover, and that is it for this one. So we're almost done, almost done. We are going to carry it into December, but not too far into December. Not too far. Not too far. Not too bad. So, all right, everyone. For those of you that already had Thanksgiving, I hope you had a happy, wonderful Thanksgiving. For those of you yet to have Thanksgiving, I hope you have a happy, wonderful, safe Thanksgiving. Safe travels to anyone who is traveling. Stay safe. Stay hydrated. Especially if you're traveling, stay hydrated. And I will see you not next week, because there's no classes on the 24th, because it is Thanksgiving. Yeah, look how fat it's getting. It's chunking up. It's chunking up. All right. No classes next week because it is Thanksgiving. So no classes the 24th. I'll see you on the first Thursday of December, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy weekend. And I'll see you next time. Bye now.